श्वास श्वास हनुमान सोहम है जो हो सोहम है जो हो हृदय बसहि हनुमान हृदय बसहि हनुमान हृदय बसहि हनुमान प्राण प्रवाह होती श्वास श्वास हनुमान सोहम है जो होती सोहम है जो हो हृदय बसहि हनुमान हृदय बसहि हनुमान हृदय बसहि हनुमान प्राण प्रवाह होती श्वास श्वास हनुमान सोहम है जो होती सोहम है जो हो हृदय बसहि हनुमान हृदय बसहि हनुमान हृदय बसहि हनुमान प्राण प्रवाह
Namaste. Let us, I'm happy Emma could make it. Let us begin with tuning in for a moment. Bring our awareness to our breath, to the flow of our breath, and remember Ishvara, God, Guru. Namaste once again. Here we are. And Emma today is on video. Fantastic. This is like incredible. This is fantastic. So we have been, in the last weeks, we have been sharing about Ishvara, God. And these days, someone was on a chat group, like called Clubhouse. Someone on the Clubhouse came back to me saying that there are a bunch of kids in a room and they're asking, can you explain to us who is God? So God is such a topic that it grabs everybody's imagination, at least. Even if those who deny it have an imagination which they reject. They have an imagination of a God, and then they say, this one we don't subscribe to, it is not comfortable, and they reject that imagination. The others are not imagining. When rishis speak, when Patanjali speaks, Vyas speaks, Veda Vyasa speaks, Vijnana Bhikshu speaks, Vachaspati Mishra speaks, Swami Ved Bharati himself speaks, or Swami Rama, or Bengali Baba speaks of God. They are not speaking of God as a mere imagination. And they have gone to great length and extent to explain the nature of God. God, as we understand by the word, feels different from the Christian perspective, from the Islamic perspective, also from those who reject God, Jainism, Buddhism, not Buddhism, Buddhism is silent, but the atheist, to them, God feels like a different entity. But those who know God, having known him, come back and tell us about him. Their perspective is explained to us in great, great, great details. And they invite us to follow the same method or follow the same way. And then they promise that at the end of it, we shall also have a personal experience of God, exactly as they have had. That is where it becomes scientific, because it is reproducible. Having followed a system, having followed a way, you can come to a same experience. Sweet will taste sweet to everybody, provided somebody is willing to unwrap the chocolate and put it in the mouth. We here presume that we all have no problems. Rather, we are happy to accept the presence of God, Ishvara. We call the name of God, how God is called in Sanskrit, in Hindi, is Ishvara. Here, Ishvara means the Lord, the sovereign master of the universe or of whatever. Ishvara is a word which is used as a suffix to many words. Nareshwara will mean a king who is the Ishvara, who is the sovereign of all the people, like that. So, and that we have understood that the easiest way, God is the way and God is the goal, both. God is the goal, we have to arrive there. God is the way, both. Like yoga is the goal and yoga is the way, both. Yoga is also the way. And we started talking about it from the perspective of Yoga Sutras. And we understood that samadhi, or complete absorption of the self, or absorption in the self, after the mind has been totally quietened pacified, pleasanted, harmonized. After such a mind field has been achieved, the total absorption on the self is easily and quickly achievable through the grace of God, by tuning into God and by pleasing Him. Vyas in his commentary says that this God and this special Purusha, last time I was talking about, that this special Purusha, this special person whom we are referring to as God, when he is called upon again and again with intense love, lovingly called upon, this Purusha, this special person, turns his gaze upon the one who is calling him and floods him with his grace. Again, hundreds of questions can be raised. What kind of God is he? He's so partial to people who call him. Those who don't call him, that means he will not pour his grace on them, etc. These kind of questions happen. For our purposes, let us ignore those questions for now. Not that we don't have an answer, but it will take a lot of time. For us, it is enough that there is, for true, for real, there is a special person, a special conscious force who is God. And that God, when we call upon that God by his name, it is enough to gain his attention. He looks at us, he looks at me, he looks at you, and he showers his grace. By that grace, it is written that all inner and outer obstacles are removed. And in removing those obstacles, all worldly obstacles are also removed. He has the switch, he has the karma switch also. He can delete some of our heavy karmas if he were to wish it, because he is the sovereign of the nature of Mula Prakriti. He is the sovereign of the mind. He can delete, he can add, he can do what he wants to do. He's the sovereign. He's the boss. He's the loving father, boss, mother, friend, lover, beloved. However we wish to relate with this special person. So last we have understood what is Pranidhana. How do we lovingly bring ourselves into the loving presence of God and offer all our thoughts, actions, practices, and their fruits unto the feet of the Lord. Today, what I have done, I've gone just a step ahead, and in the Bhagavad Gita, so when we talk of Vyas's commentary on the Yoga Sutra, this Vyas is not the same as Veda Vyas, who wrote Mahabharata, of which Bhagavad Gita is a part of. This Vyas is someone else, but a great sage again. And one whom I'm referring to is Veda Vyas, who compiled all the Vedas, and then of all the Vedas, all the Upanishads, Mahabharata, all the 18 Puranas, and also the Srimad Bhagavad Mahapuran. All of this Veda Vyas's gift to us. Rishi, sage Veda Vyas, his gift to us. Bhagavad Gita is considered to be the essence of all the Upanishads, and the Upanishads are considered to be the essence of all the Vedas. So Bhagavad Gita can be said to be the essence, the quintessence of the Vedas. So when we want to know what the Vedas talk about Ishvara, we go to Bhagavad Gita, which is very easy. It's written in easier Sanskrit, easier language, and then there are commentaries available, etc. Of Bhagavad Gita, there is a chapter 10. It is called Vibhuti Pad. It is the step, or it is the stride of Vibhuti. Bhuti means to be. Vibhuti means to be to gloriously be, to be gloriously manifested. Vibhuti. Vibhuti means glorious presence, glorious manifestation. And chapter 10 is dedicated to the glorious manifestations of God. Here, Lord Himself, Bhagavan Krishna, and Arjuna are in conversation. And Arjuna puts a question to Bhagavan, says that, Bhagavan, because this chapter 10, 9 chapters have been delivered to Arjuna. And Arjuna says, Bhagavan, I have understood. You are so great. You are so brilliant. I'm so overwhelmed by just knowing about you and how you are and how this world is and how people live their lives, etc. How, but by how, in which way, where can I rest my mind? On what, in which way can I grasp you? Can I get you? I'm unable to get you or grasp you. So Bhagavan says there, with great love and kindness, he says, Arjuna, my manifestations are infinite and I may not be able to even count them. There are countless manifestations and there are countless ways in which you can perceive me. However, just for you, I'm sharing with you some of the ways, some of the manifestations that you can comprehend me through, you can understand me through, you can connect me through. Through these manifestations, you can directly connect with me. Others are also my manifestations, but through this manifestation, these manifestations or these entities which are directly in the purview of your knowledge, you know them, you grasp them, you understand them, then through these manifestations, these are my direct manifestations. I am that. I am present in that. So, Bhagavan begins. He says, the first manifestation of mine is the self, Atman. You can directly access me through your own self, Atman. If you understand Atman, because there's no question of understanding, it is you. It is you. You are one who is asking this question, is the one who is the Atman. That Atman, that experiencer, that seer, that observer, that Atman I am. If you get it, if you tune into that, if you meditate upon your Atman, on yourself, done. That is who I am. Full stop. Imagine all mysteries and all big things that God is this and that has all been taken away here. Just the self. But it is so simple. It is simple to know God, but it is difficult to be simple. So this simple presence of Atman, and what Emma's favorite Pratha, the morning song to myself, she does it every morning. That morning song to myself, Pratha Smarami, that morning song to myself is a song to him. So Ishvara Pranidhana means, therefore, we are all the time looping back to Ishvara Pranidhana, because what are we supposed to do? Because there are two things: Ishvara, God; Pranidhana, offering unto God. So we have to offer unto God. So first let us understand who is God and what we need to offer. Then we are done. Ishvara Pranidhana will be done by if you understand these two things. And we are trying to understand Ishvara. And if myself is the Ishvara, then constant remembrance of this self, Constantly being anchored in this self is enough. Being anchored in this self and operating in the world is enough for our journey. All right. But Bhagwan says it is not possible. It is very difficult to stay anchored in the self because the mind is mind and it wanders. It goes far and wide. So Bhagwan goes on to elaborate, and I have counted it. I actually made my notes in Hindi, so today I translated them. My counting goes to 79. There are 79 distinct, and even more if I look at the this thing. Maybe about 85, 90 plus manifestations, 90 different things that you cannot miss God in. But I will share the translation and then we'll go over it and we can see whatever speaks to us, we can highlight it. All of them may not be relevant because some relate to things that we cannot relate with. They were in the past, no longer in the present. So we don't need to bother about that. So we can make our own shorter list of those manifestations which we can relate with, and then we can remember. When we see this, we will remember God. We will know that this one is God. We'll immediately connect with our consciousness to this particular presence of God. So here we are. Don't be overwhelmed. We'll go over it slowly and we will manage how. Are you able to see this page? Everyone is able to see this?
We can.
You can, no? Rupaji is
Yes.
not able to see?
Yes, I can see.
You can see. Perfect. Perfectly fine. But am I in the right direction? We are only few of us. We need to interact and tell that we are on the same page. I must not lose you anywhere. Archana ji, you feel it is okay? The direction? God is okay right now amongst us.
Yes.
Let us look at it and then we will see. I will see if I can highlight some of them here itself. So if we look at the first one, Atman. This is direct. No one can say we can't see God as Atman, whoever you are. And if you understand God like this, we don't need to understand God in any other form. But then, amongst the beings, among other beings, we can go. Krishna says, Bhagavan says, I am the source of intelligence. Intelligence, knowledge, freedom from delusion, forgiveness, truthfulness, self-control, calmness, happiness, sorrow, birth, death, fear, fearlessness, non-violence, equanimity, satisfaction, austerity, charity, fame, and infamy. Imagine, can you miss God anywhere? All of these. You see someone happy? Bhagwan, He's there. All the time, when you become aware of God's presence in just 1 and 2, your eyes will always be moist by the love of seeing Him around. Someone is born, someone is gone. Someone is afraid, someone is not. Both. And then there are big commentaries on why and how God manifests like that. But right now, we are just going over it. Huh? Source of intelligence. Somebody is very intelligent, Bhagwan. He's shining through. Knowledge, freedom from delusion. Somebody has great self-control. Someone is very truthful, very calm, doing some charity. Someone is very famous and very infamous also. In every way, it is Bhagwan's glory which shines forth. He says, amongst the sages and the Saptarishis, the 7 sages, now you can see them in the stars, and the 4 ancient Manus. We don't relate with it anymore. Among beings, all living beings in the world originate from me. All living beings. And among qualities, among guna, all states of mind and all states of virtues, all virtues emanate from Bhagwan. All states of mind. So whenever you see a shift in state of your mind, you will become conscious of your state of mind. That shift, both of them belong to him. It is God's Leela going on. Among the Adityas, among the sun, Vishnu. Among the lights, the sun. Among the winds, Marichi. So the light, the winds, all. Among the Vedas, Samveda. Among gods, Indra, Vasava. Among the senses, the mind, we are all the time talking about the mind. But out of all our 11 senses, 5 senses of knowledge, cognition, 5 senses of action, and mind, 11 sense organs, he is the mind. Bhagwan is the mind. Among living beings, consciousness is also him. Rudras, Shiva. Among the Yakshas and Rakshasas, Kubera. Among the Vasus, fire. Every day in the kitchen, you see fire. It is him. Imagine it, each one of them, if each one of these were to say, hi, how are you doing? I'm here. How would you feel? Among the mountains, Meru. Among the priests, Brihaspati. Amongst the generals, Skandha. Among the bodies of water, the ocean. Imagine when you go to the ocean, when you are by the sea. That's it. That is Bhagwan in his vastness. Among great sages, Bhrigu. Among the words, Om. Among the words. Among sacrifices, among the yagyas, Japa. When you're doing Japa, it is Bhagwan himself. That's his body. Among the immovable things, the Himalayas. You can see it all the time. Among the trees, the peepal tree. Sometimes on a Saturday, go close to it and say hello. Among the divine sages, Narada. Among Gandharvas, Chitrat. There was a time when Narad, Chitrat, Kapila used to be on this earth. Among the perfected beings, Kapila. Among the horses, Ucheshravas. Among the elephants, Airavat. Among men, the king. The leader or the king. Therefore, there was a time when kings used to be worshipped as Vishnu. But it is a figure of speech. Amongst the weapons, thunderbolt. When you see a lightning in the sky. Among the cows, Kamdhenu. Among the causes of procreation, Cupid. In young people or whoever, whenever desire arises, it's Bhagwan himself. Amongst serpents, Basuki. Amongst Nagas, Sesha. Amongst aquatic beings, Aruna. Amongst ancestors, all our ancestors who had led Aryama. Amongst the controllers, Yama. Amongst Daityas, Prahlad. Amongst the measure of all the things that you measure, length, breadth, time. So that's why the diction is not to waste time. Time is himself. Bhagwan himself is time. When you see time ticking, it is him. Amongst beasts, the lion. Amongst the birds, Garuda. Amongst the purifier, the wind. Amongst warrior, Rama. Amongst the fishes, Makara. It is not the shark actually, it is the crocodile. Crocodile. Not even the crocodile. Actually, the real word for Makara is alligator. Alligator. Among the river, Ganga, take a dip here. Whoever is here in India can always come and take a dip in Gangaji. And you're right in the embrace of Bhagwan. Among creations, the beginning, middle, and the end of anything. You start writing a message, there is a beginning, then there is a middle, there is an end. All of that is him. The beginning of it, the middle of it, the end of it, not the content, the process itself. All of anything you're beginning to cook, the beginning, the middle, and the end of cooking. Among sciences, the knowledge of self, Adhyatma Vidya, says. This knowledge that we are sharing between us is Adhyatma Vidya. Is Bhagwan. The knowledge itself, this exchange itself is Bhagwan. Amongst the disputants, logic, Vada. Here, it's not about disputants so much, but when one is wanting to make a statement which clarifies or which brings into light the truth, that is Bhagwan. Amongst the word, he was Om. Amongst the letter, he is the letter A. We use the masculine for Bhagwan because he is neutral, neuter. So when we address neutral, which is conscious, we cannot call it it. We can't call God as it. So we use he, that is closest. She is not used out of respect for women, for something which is neuter. We are not using the word she, but everyone is free to call Bhagwan as she. No problem at all. You can use he or she with equal this thing. Amongst the compounds, there is a particular kind of grammatical compound. It's the Dvanda. It's the Dvanda Samas that brings together two big words into one. Actually, it is the joining thing, but we don't come across it in English. It is mostly in Sanskrit. Amongst the inexhaustible things, Mahakal, which stays beyond time. Okay, we do not want to go into complicated forms of God which we can't comprehend. Amongst the creators, the Vishwatomukha, the whole world, the world faced God. You can say this. The whole world is his face. The whole world is his face. Amongst feminine qualities, these are the feminine qualities he has said. Fame, prosperity, speech, memory, intelligence, steadfastness, and forgiveness. All of these I am. Among the hymns, Brihat Sama. And then among the meters, the Gayatri, which is in our Sri Mantra. Amongst the month, Margashirsha, it's at the end of the year. Amongst the season, spring, whenever spring comes, you can experience spring. You can experience spring. You can also experience Margashirsha. This is the month of December. Let me write here, December. So you understand, December is God. Among deceitful practices, gambling is amongst the brilliant, the splendor itself of brilliance. Then whenever you see victory, whichever team wins, it is him. One's profession, like Archana ji is doing her profession, or Emma or myself, whatever we do as our website, our livelihood, you can say, profession or even livelihood, is God. Amongst the goodness, amongst the Vrishni clan, Vasudeva, he himself, and amongst the Pandavas, Arjuna. Imagine what he's telling him. You, Arjuna, I am, and I am. Both of us are the same, with two mouths speaking to one another. Amongst the sages, Vyasa. Amongst the great thinkers, Ushnas. And this is for Archana ji actually. Amongst the punishers, actually the word that is used there is danda. Danda. Actually, the judicial, the laws, the law itself, which is used to punish the offenders, he says, I am that. I am the staff, like the staff, like the stick of law, that danda with which the offenders are punished. Amongst the seekers of victory, policy, amongst the secrets, silence, mauna. So when you keep silent, it is Bhagwan. Amongst the wise, wisdom, all the wisdom. It says, I am the very seed of all creation. Whatever is glorious, famous, exalted, strong, motivated, great, happening, of the essence of that is me. Whatever you find exciting, beautiful, happening, great, shining, which attracts you, he said, at the end, he says, Arjuna, forget it. How much can I elaborate? This is the last verse. He says, by my grain, by one tiny speck of myself, I pervade the whole world and creation and hold it. So, a tiny speck of Bhagwan's presence, a little bit, a little speck of it, is what pervades amongst in each one of us and holds the whole world. In another chapter, Bhagwan says, Vasudeva Sarvam Idam, I am the indweller, the all-pervading one. That is why one of the very important mantras are Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Very, very potent, very important mantra. It just means, oh Lord, I bow down to you in the form of the indweller. If we can get it, that he is the indweller in me and the indweller in all of all, we are done. We'll be good to go. I have just read it out. I'll share this. I hope it makes a little sense. But let us pause here and understand and take some comments of how does it all feel. Does it make God really come down to makes it too common for us, for him to be interesting anymore? Does it feel like this, that if God is a tree and a mosquito and the one inside a dog or a donkey, the living being inside that is God himself, he becomes so common? Does it make him very unexciting or uninteresting for us? How does it feel to see such a vivid description of God? Or does it make any sense?
So well done, Pavanji. I mean, you have not left a speck of anything where we can't find God.
Not me. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10. That's why I've given a reference.
I mean, the way you've written it and you've presented for us, it is so, so nice. And very nice. Thank you so much. ये तो बहुत ही सुंदर है, बहुत सुंदर. Very nice. So I don't think so anywhere it is left that we can't see Bhagwan.
You can't see Bhagwan.
But the thing I wanted to know is that why in sins also God is there?
Because that is part of sanskara, that is part of free choices people are making. The big gift to human consciousness is, and that differentiates human consciousness from animal consciousnesses. Animals are sinless. They cannot perform any sin, nor can they perform any punya, any merit. They live their lives according to the laws of nature. live a very good life according to nature, and quit. And their promotion or their evolution is natural. For human beings, they have a choice. They have a choice to choose between prayas and shreyas. Now, if God did not give that choice to human beings will become like animals. They'll only do the right thing and eat chapati and vegetable for lunch. But because human beings have got a choice, there are some human beings who wake up with brandy, who wash their mouth with wine. That's their choice. When they do that, they will end up doing something else as a consequence. Something will happen, something they will do. They will get drunk, then out of that drunkenness, they will hit somebody who will die. Now, that person who is dead has to come back and take care of the karmic disbalance. And so all this drama goes on. Bhagavan says, understand that if something is not necessary, it will not be there. If Trump was not necessary, he won't be there. If Iran war was not necessary, it won't happen. If bombing was not, I'm not talking whether it is right or not right, or good or better, or violent, non-violent. But for the collective existence, at the highest level of intelligence, it is necessary, therefore it is happening. If not, the rest of the 8 billion people could be walking towards Iran and swim in the, everybody can get a small boat and get into the Hormuz Street and say, let's see who stops us. But nobody does it. People sit behind. Who can do it? No one. We are common, ordinary people. We say, who cares to go to Hormuz and do all of that? We sit at home, we watch television and have our sandwiches while watching how a city is bombed. So for the minds like us, it is important that the whole world is bombed, including our cities, to understand what bombing means. What it means to be bombed, we don't know. That's the reason we consume news and keep having our red wine and nice conversations. And there we are seeing also on the TV bombing. Oh my God, Trump is a this, that, he is bombing, like that. So our minds have become such collectively that we don't know. Every city must get bombed for people to wake up and understand what bombing means. We don't know what is poverty. We don't know what is the meaning of being hungry. We don't know. One day we have to keep fast. The moment we are hungry, we run for alternatives and we can't deal with hunger. Imagine people who are hungry for days, for weeks. They know they will die out of hunger. So all that pain and that experience has been put into motion by a set of people who have chosen something which was prayers for them, but was not shreyas. And the whole world goes tumbling like that. And we do that all the time ourselves. We make such choices and make all kinds of mess in our own lives. So Bhagavan says, Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Bhranti Rupena Sanstita. Goddess is in the form of delusion also, and the coming out of that. If that was not there, we will not experience coming out of it.
We actually know what we are experiencing, basically. We only know that whatever we experience is good or bad is our karma, and this is what we know.
But knowing, we are not able to go forward from there. How do we see how much it is taking? 3-4 weeks, we have been only speaking about Ishvara Pranidhana. It is not yet done, but I will conclude it today. I will not for a long time carry it. We'll come back to it again and again. But imagine how simple it is, but we don't get it. The key to that is, I've shared it earlier. I'll share it again today in this context. It is said in the story of Ramcharitmanas that Bhagwan Ram had come from Chitrakoot. At Chitrakoot, he stayed for 12 years of his 14 years of exile. He stayed for 12 years in Chitrakoot, and he was comfortable there. But people got to know that he's there. So people from all over started visiting. When they started visiting the ashrams of the sadhus and the monks, they started getting filled up. And the purpose for which these people had left their homes and come into the forest to meditate, that was gone. They were only their disciples forget about studying. They were only serving all the people who were coming to meet Bhagwan Ram. So then at one point in time, 12 years down the line, Bhagwan, in his own goodness, he woke up. He said, it's too much. We are disturbing the people here, and there are others also. Let us go down south. So from Chitrakoot, he walked. He stayed at several ashrams, and then he arrived at Panchavati near Nasik, modern day Nasik. And then one day he was in a very good mood. He was laying on a stone. He had had his breakfast. The sky was blue. The quails were singing a song. And then Lakshmana, seeing Bhagwan in such a good mood, he addresses him and he says, Bhagwan, you are the Lord of all that is here, all the creation. But I am asking you a question as my Lord. Nij Prabhu ke nai. Jai Jag Charachar Sai. Sai means Swami, of the Lord of all movable, all moving, all unmoving, all animate, all inanimate creatures, creations, and the world. O the Lord of all moving, unmoving, and the whole world, I ask you a question as my Lord. Nij Prabhu. Nij means my Prabhu, Lord. And then he asks the question, and Bhagwan Ram answers him and gives him a long answer. Not long answer. The question was also terse, so the answer was also terse, tight answer. And that is known as Ram Gita, Shri Ram Gita. Very interesting. Maybe one day we will look at that. So, even if we understand that God is everywhere, this, that, all this, the list that I have given, still there will be no love for God. The loving relationship with God will happen only when we address him or her as my God. When we are in pain, oh my God, or in happiness, my God, my God. Everyone's God, we don't care. Even sometimes our fathers may have 3 children, or mothers may have 3 children. But when we look at that mother, we don't look at her as the mother of 3 children. We look at her as my mother. Only then that love arises. The moment we look at our father as the father of 3 children, our love goes down and our sense of right comes up. So as a father, he has given him a car. When is he buying my car? And the other son will also say, where is my car? When we look at God in an impersonal way, only our right, when is he doing something good for me? Otherwise, what good he is if he is a tree or a donkey, I don't care. But when we address Bhagwan as Nij Prabhu, my God, mine, only then a sense of love can be expected to arise there. And love cannot be created. It can only happen. Here, it's a very odd, no, let me not use that one. Let me use another translation of a very famous idiom that we use in common life. Is we have to pretend to be in love till we fall in love, till love actually happens with God. So what do we do? Therefore, when it comes to Ishvara Pranidhana, the 5 fingers that hold it, love is not there. Because how can a guru or a teacher recommend something which is not available for all? putting only Shraddha. Have faith that he is there, that he is waiting for you, that he will respond to you, that he will shower you with grace. Shraddha. And then, of course, Virya. Apply your strength there. Smriti. Remember. And then Pragya. All your wisdom. And then meditation. Have to sit down, have to wait and say, my God, come. I'm now ready. My God, show me you. Hey Ishvara. Hey Bhagwan. And for us, it is easier. We have cultivated a beautiful understanding of Hanumanji. Hanumanji, the definition of Ishvara is apt in the case of Hanumanji. He is the Guru. He is untouched by time. He is untouched by karma. He has the seed of all knowledge. He is omniscient. And he is vibrating at our frequency. So we can give a form to that Ishvara, God, here, Hanumanji. But have one form if you have to have. Otherwise, just a glowing light, or Shiva, or Ganesh, or Ram, or Krishna. But one form, that this is the form. Bhagwan will take that form. The form that you give him, he will take that form to appear or to connect or to contact you. So that is one thing. In the practices, it is said, we'll talk about it later also, later on. But we have heard of this Abhyas Vairagya. I do not know whether you remember these two words, Abhyas Vairagya. Abhyas, practice, Vairagya, dispassion. Practice of what? So it is said, practice, constant practice of the seer and the seen. Constant abhyas, practice of the seer and the seen, the world and the seer of the world. In that you will find sometimes you will say, I'm sad, I'm upset, but you are able to see it, that you are sad and upset. Then you are not sad and upset. You are seeing, you're experiencing a feeling of sadness and upsettedness. That dissociation of the self from the feeling, all the time, the seer and the seen. This drishya, in Sanskrit it is called drik, drishya, vivek. The discriminatory wisdom or intelligence of identifying the seer from the seen. That practice. Vairagya from the seen. Vairagya from whatever you are seeing. Vairagya does not mean to drop it. Absolutely not. Just that it should lose its value. The seen must lose its value. It should not have the power to grab you, to hold you down, to manipulate you, which it is doing just now. The seen must lose its value. Vairagya. Non-adhesiveness with the seen. This is Vairagya. This is the core practice of Abhyas and Vairagya. When we come back to Ishvara Pranidhana, core practice will translate into breath awareness. Being aware of the breath instantly will calm the mind down. You'll be able to watch your thoughts. You'll be able to become aware of the Atman. That Atman is him. His first Vibhuti is the Atman. You don't need to learn about any other Vibhuti. So practicing breath awareness again and again and again. Making a fixed time for meditation, samadhi, sitting down and being in that state of yourself, that I am sitting with myself, a state of no thought. In that, of course, we have shared our Shri Mantra. In the coming weeks, we will share an internal practice of the Shri Mantra, the part that we have all learned, to sit down and do that. Those who have learned, like Emma herself, the bigger practices, must do it several times, Emma, at least 5 times or so. Run that big one in that way and you'll see. So when you run those inner practices, that is also pranidhana. That is also, you're seated, quiet, running a certain mantra within, so that the mind is going koko, 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 koko. You calm it down and then take the name of God, which is Om, for some time. Just with love. Not to say anything, just that you love taking his name. Or if you have to say something, to tell him that, Bhagwan, this is what, or Hanumanji, this is what I want, or I don't want, or whatever, or I'm struggling with, say that. Please remember this, that Ishvara is more keen and is desperate, not desperately, but intensely waiting for us, much more than we are keen to know him. Because he knows his job. His job is to liberate every being who has got trapped into the dream of Mahanarayan. It is his job to take one being, the next, the third, the fourth. That is his job. So he's only waiting, but he has done his hands like that. We need to grab it. How do we grab it? How do we make ourselves to do that? Is through trust, Shraddha, Smriti. We need to remember this. That's why sometimes to take a print out and not let it remain as a document in the chat, but to take a print, stick it somewhere, or have a wall on which you just keep sticking it. Something or the other will remain and remind. So it is. I pause here. Any questions or thoughts you have are welcome.
Lots of thoughts, Pavan, on the manifestations. And then if the first is the self, then do we need to find ourselves? Why were we not created the way? If God is the self, then why were we not created like the self, like God? Why do we have to search? Why do we have to search for him? Why do we have to practice?
We don't have to search. We have actually lost ourselves. We need to clear the muck. That's all.
Mirror
Look
of
at
the
it.
mind.
What we consider ourselves as myself, like your life, basically what you consider you, in the sense I or each one of us, what we consider ourselves is what? Basically ego-centered. My name, my face, my age, my looks, my hair, my style, my gender, my likes, my dislikes, what I know, what I don't know. All right. And my fears. All right. All of this, who shaped it? Not me. Everybody else but me has shaped all of this. Someone else gave me a name. And then the whole of the marketing media channel and the society made sure that my brain was programmed to do what it wants us to do. Therefore, right from the childhood till today, nobody ever talked about the self to us. Where was this conversation? And other than our Zoom call, where you and me are talking, when else is anyone here speaking about the self to anybody? The self is lost, gone. God didn't create it like that. God did not create the media. Yeah, or you will say it did. It did. It gave us the mind. We had the choice to choose. We chose the prayers. So we wanted more entertainment, more enjoyment, more money for that. So we invented a game. We made some money like Monopoly. Then money got some value. Then we got a golden metal called gold. Then we got some shining stones like diamond. We gave it value. We gave this value. We did not give other things so much of value. If you kill somebody in the background, doesn't matter. Or if you have been a pedophile, how does it matter? It doesn't matter. It's okay. As long as you have written many books and you are a great man or a politician or invented a rocket or something, because that is going to help, that is going to make other people make more money. So do you see how we have got sucked into a game which does not belong to pure consciousness and pure human purity? Therefore, there is an urge to be peaceful. For example, the natural urge is ultimately at the end of life, 60 pluses, 50 plus, whatever plus, we want, come on, give me peace, leave me alone. I'm okay with a piece of bread and tea. It's okay, but don't rattle my brain. Allow me peace, give me calm, peace, some happiness, quietness. Let there be no conflict. These are our natural, because we are now walking out of the game. We have played it. We are no longer, the game doesn't interest us anymore. But think of, I will not, I was about to use a bad adjective, but think of a super violent movie like Dhurandhar becoming a craze. People like that. So where has the mind come, and who makes people like it? Again, a media algorithm. Google has gone in. Geo holds so many mobile phones. In that, getting all the ads telling people that this is the best movie. If they miss it, they will use some ball mark and say it is like Sholay. Somebody is saying that. I have not seen it, but what do you mean by saying like Sholay? But people, and then everybody jumps on it. Then they make a lot of money. With that lot of money, they will make another movie like that, and in that movie, they will be imprinted with ways to be violent. So when then next time their neighbor fights with them, they might hit out at the neighbor exactly the way somebody has been hit in Dhurandhar, maybe. And so it perpetuates. So we have for ourselves made a chaos for ourselves. I had shared the experiment of the rat experiment. We all know of it, it's famous, and it's been replicated twice, thrice over. Same results. Few rats, a paradise created for them. Then the rats themselves make a mess. They go and bite this, they go and steal that, they go and kill that babies. The female rats become so upset, they are not willing to mate. So the population goes down and all kinds of chaos happens and they all die. The God, the human being, did not create a world like that. They made a beautiful earth with all the resources. The earth has enough for everybody's need, but not enough for one man's greed. And it is 8 billion men's greed consuming this one earth. And it is said that if we were to become consumers like USA is consuming earth at the rate of 1.7 times. So if all were to consume at the rate of 1.7 times, the earth will be gone. No resources will be left. But let's leave that big question aside. Just be true to your own seeking. And if you feel that this conversation makes you connect with the presence of God, makes you want to connect with God, then just with faith, with trust, with love, begin to bring all your actions and the fruits, all your prayers, everything in front of God. Best is to keep a form that is easiest, to have Hanumanji, have a small idol like that and carry it around, because Archanaji, you are traveling a lot. So just one, keep it on the side. One small cone of agarbatti, maybe sometimes in flight you're not allowed, but maybe one flower or nothing else, at least nothing, just few drops of water. On Hanumanji from the bathroom, you can put few drops of water. So Bhagwan, we are together here in Bangalore. Let us celebrate this time and let's enjoy. And to have that working relationship in which you are able to call him by a beautiful name and you are able to relate with him and you are able to find at least 5-10 minutes a day to sit down in quietness. And during the day, to practice and be dispassionate of the seer-seen difference of the breath awareness and your
Is the silence when you're by alone the same silence that we're talking about? No.
silence
It's
is
a
the
conscious.
silence. This is called as akardamon. When you're not speaking, then you're silent. But the silence is just, let's say, 1% of the total silence. The silence will go in at the level of your thoughts. And then there also you'll watch and you'll say, why even that thought is rising? Where did that thought rise from? So like that, over a long, when you stay in a long period of silence, 3 days, 2 days, at least one day, you are able to trace it somewhere. It's like a PS5 game. You trace the thought, and you find where is the origin, and you just look at that, and the thought doesn't arise for a few moments, and it gives you so much of joy that more thoughts then begin to come up. Look, I did it. I was silent for 5 seconds. And then
Yeah,
you
it'll
keep
be
going.
good to hear from you how it is. Because you were silent for 9 days and you're silent for many days. So, how do you stop yourself from speaking? I was just thinking, should I wear a mask on my face? Otherwise, I won't
No, no,
remember.
no, no, not at all. You'll find there is no need to speak. You need to keep yourself
Oh,
in an environment
yeah,
where
that is true.
everybody needs to respect that. Therefore, sometimes at home, maybe your Raviji may tease you, maybe. But if
He
we
won't
request,
tease me, but my maids are very irritating.
they
I
are
may react to
irritating.
them. I may
That is
react to
why,
them.
that is why
Yeah.
Can
you need
I,
to come to an ashram.
Namaste, can I give a suggestion here?
Yep,
Why are you
yep.
not on video?
Because I'm not in a space where I can be on video, that is why.
Acha,
But I've
okay.
been here with you from beginning.
Very nice. It
Okay.
works.
So Archana ji,
Hmm.
I'll tell you out of my personal experience. So I personally love going in silence, how much ever I blabber.
Hmm.
But silence is something I really love. In spite of Pawanji telling me not to, I went for Vipassana,
Hmm.
right? And I always say that, the environment makes a huge difference if we really want to go quiet.
Hmm.
And yes, Pawanji is right. It feels like we are gagging ourselves. We're putting something in our mouth and saying, shut up. But when we go into a space which is conducive, which is encouraging for silence, the true silence really happens. And like Pawanji said, that thoughts will come and you'll go like you'll just be thinking that why has this thought come? I am not even thinking about it. But a lot of releases happen when we go into silence. So the silence Pawanji is talking about actually has far more profound effect on our emotional, mental, physical, spiritual, conscious being. Rather than while we are living in a family state, in a working space, because there are things around which will irritate us. Because we are caregivers, we are running homes, we are leading families. So these things are very normal to happen. But the best way is to actually close yourself in any, even if you want to go to, for example, to Palampur, right? Close yourself in one room, go for lunch, go for breakfast, go for evening tea, whatever you wish to, but do not eat after 4 p.m. because that also allows one to deal with the thoughts that keep coming in because the brain is not used to being quiet.
Hmm.
So इसके ऊपर we can do one-on-one चर्चा. But
It's fair.
silence
It's a
is
good
really,
conversation.
really, it really uplifts us from within actually. It's a different journey.
Yes, and that is why silence is one of the 5 pillars of our sadhana. Silence, fasting, stillness. Stillness
Fasting,
is also
yeah.
mm,
Fasting, I have been
fasting,
able to
silence,
do, but
stillness.
stillness and silence is the other two.
Uh, 3, and then conquest over sleep. That is
Yeah.
important, but it is, you can say, it is next level where we begin to bring, because sleep is also defined in Patanjali Yoga Sutra as a form of thought, a thought to experience nothing. That is sleep. Sleep is a modification of the mind where the mind has a desire to experience nothing, no object. So it goes into a mode of sleep. So especially those who want to practice long meditation, they need to conquest over that particular vritti, modification. Otherwise, normally, the moment you get in meditation and you get reasonably calm, that the mind mistakes that calmness to be sleep and says, wow, I've arrived in my zone, which I know of. So mind knows of zone of sleep. So it gets into that and you are hijacked, your meditation is gone. So that, and brahmacharya. Brahmacharya would mean control of senses. That's all. We do not just eat reasonably, see reasonably, hear, listen reasonably. What is reasonable? Your own heart, Ishvara, inside you will say what is reasonable and then follow that. Yes, Rupaji, you are saying something.
Pavanji, namaste to all. No, I was talking about when you say meditation, I can sit in meditation, but the thoughts keep coming. So I guess that is a practice which we need to do all the time and let the thoughts go. Maybe at some point of time, they will settle and they will move on. And you will be in a state of no thought. I don't know. And as far as fasting goes, I can do the fast on water fast also, but sleep, that comes to me very normally when I'm fasting. So I don't know whether that is good or bad. And silence is something I think on the day I am fasting, I think that would be the aim, that if that day, at least for 5 hours or 6 hours, I am silent.
Yes.
So that will be that the time that you conquer your kind of senses where you keep your mind quiet and go into that zone.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely too. But at the background of it, concluding today's conversation is to keep, why am I doing all of this? I'm doing all of this to be constantly be aware of the presence of Ishvara. Constant awareness of the fragrant presence of Ishvara. That if we are able to, not if, we must attempt to do that, because this is going to be our central means. Ishvara is going to be our central means to achieve him. He himself will be the means to achieve him. So this will be our central and easiest means. And for here, most all, except of me, everybody is a woman. It's easy. Love is an easy emotion in the hearts of women. Once you begin to realize that this guy, I can't see him, but he's there. And he's there. I can see him everywhere, but I can't see him anywhere. He's a very lovely lover or beloved or whoever you relate with him. You will start enjoying his presence. And I promise this to you, that if you give him a name, Hanuman, and if you give him a form, for sure in one way or the other, we are all here. Each one of us will one day within this year come back saying, I had this personal experience. Archana ji had one already. Others also will have that experience of Nirmana Chitta and Nirmana Kaya of Ishvara. None of us will be deprived of that experience of Nirmana Chitta, Nirmana Kaya, that you will come in contact and you will know, yes, he was there. I know he was there. I don't need any more proof. It might be
I also I also had this experience.
there you are.
Very
So three of us are already so we can vouch for it. I can promise that if you keep this in mind to explore, go deep. I've shared all the notes. It's up in the, don't scroll it off. Take a print or save it in your notes or wherever. Read it and recall what we were speaking about, Ishvara Pranidhana. Maybe listen to a YouTube twice. This is a class. This is just not a mere conversation. To absorb it again, it is all on YouTube live section. You might want to just revisit the videos in one go. you'll see there has been a sequential build-up of Ishwar Pranidhana. And when you listen to all and you look at all the notes, you will find that it is easy to grasp this. And now it's just a matter of being in that mood and practice it, just keeping that eye, like people who are fishing, or like a stork which is sitting and watching for a fish to come. Its eyes are fixed, gazes fixed on water, is sitting still on one feet. That is stillness, that is silence, that is fasting, that is samadhi, that is all pragya, that is the memory that a fish will pass here. The moment it's pick, you pick it up. The moment you see a presence, the moment you feel his presence, you pick up that presence and build up, take it into your deep memory and say, look, this is how God feels, like that.
True that.
Have a great evening, all of us.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you for
Thank you.
Thank you
accommodating.
so much. Thank
We
you.
Not
changed
at
the
all.
time.
Namaste to Dhruv Chaitanya ji.
Dhruv Chaitanya ji, yes,
Guruji.
I'm going to tell him
Yes.
that.
Please, because
From all
he
of
is
us.
amazing. From all of us, yes.
Yes,
He's amazing. Yeah.
yes.
Thank you, Pawan.